We've talked about the responses that we're looking for and the levels of touch we use, and so Primo's going to show us now how to use those to do the Bladder Meridian technique. The Bladder Meridian is a good technique because it does a couple of things. The main thing is it gets you connected with the horse. He learns what I'm doing, and I can learn how he's going to respond to the touch that I'm using. Every horse responds differently, and every human's a little different too, you may have noticed, but this is a good opportunity with the Bladder Meridian to get you connected, get us both on the same page. So I'm going to go over where the Bladder Meridian runs and how fast we're going to do the Bladder Meridian and what level of pressure we're going to use. And Primo's going to help. So the Bladder Meridian, it's one of the main acupressure meridians or traditional Chinese medicine meridians. All of the other meridians are associated with it. We're not doing an acupressure or Chinese medicine treatment per se, but we use the Bladder Meridian for the purpose I just described. It also runs through the key areas we'll be working on, the pole atlas, the neck, shoulder, withers, the back, and the hind end. So it's helpful that way. During the process of doing the Bladder Meridian, Primo will tell us where he might be holding tension, and he'll start releasing it. So it's also a chance to start to put together a picture of what's going on with the horse where in the body. So it does a couple of things. And it starts the process of releasing tension too. So I'm going to show you where it runs. It starts over the eye. It comes up between the ear and the pole. And then from there, it travels a couple inches off the top line of the horse. Meridians in general follow grooves where there are grooves. So we would follow this groove along here, a couple inches off the top line. It would go over the scapula here next to the withers in this little depression. And it'll stay just a couple inches off the top line, the center line of the horse here. And when it gets to the hind end, up here at the croup, it's going to break off and it's going to follow a groove down the hamstring muscles here. I'm going to turn him a little so you can see the hind end. Come here, bud. Step over there. Good boy. That's his other good side. Whoop, whoop, stand. Good boy. He has a lot of good sides. Stand here, buddy. So from here, it'll follow this groove here and down the hamstrings. Ho, bud. Ho, bud. Down the hamstrings, this groove here. And a couple inches off the back of the leg. And it'll follow these grooves through the hock and down this groove between the flexor tendons. And then when it gets over, it'll go over the fetlock. And it'll follow this ridge here. And it terminates right here on the coronary band, where this ridge coincides with that. That's a ting point. It's the termination of a meridian. There are 6 on each hoof. This outer one for the Bladder Meridian. There's one on the inside, in the same place on the inside of the foot. There's one right in front. There's one right between the bulbs of the heel here. And then there are 2 more here in the quarters. So we have at the back of the heel, inside and outside. We have in the front, we have in the back between the bulbs of the heel, and then we have these 2 quarters. And they're all termination points for different meridians on the body, 6 on each foot. So there will be 12 meridians on each side of the horse. We use the Bladder Meridian to start our body work. I'm going to move him back. Come over here, buddy. We're going to move your rump over. We're going to step back. He maneuvers pretty easily. Good boy. So you ready to do a little Bladder Meridian, Primo? So how we're going to do this is a certain level of pressure and a certain speed, and it's called search, response, stay, release. I'm not going to start over the eye. I'm going to start right here behind the pole. It doesn't matter if you do. You can start anywhere you want on the meridian. You can, if you don't do this part, that's okay. You could come back and do that if you like. If you don't get through the whole side, it's okay. If you don't get both sides done, he won't go in circles for the rest of his life. So we're going to start with air gap or egg yolk, which is barely touching. We already described that. And we're going to go a certain speed, and we're going to watch his eye. Stay awake, buddy, for responses. Now, horses always blink. Flies cause them to blink, or their lips twitch, or whatever. We're looking for a change in behavior that correlates to what we're doing. So as you go along, if you're not sure that what you're doing is causing a blink, you can go back over that spot again. And if you get a blink at exactly the same spot, then that means that there's a correlation between what you're doing and the horse is doing, and that's where you want to stay. So We're going to start with the speed about like that, just fast enough that you can see what's going on. When there's a change in behavior right here, so I would stay here. But that was just fast enough that you can see what's going on with the horse, with his eye and with his face. Not so fast you miss anything, and not so slow that the horse just falls asleep and isn't ready for it. So that's this. You're going at a speed that you can see what's going on, using just barely touching, air gap or maybe half an egg yolk. So that's how fast we're going to do it and how hard we're going to do it. Now I'm going to do it. So I'll start here. He's getting starting to get sleepy, but that's okay. You can do this no matter what. If the horse is busy or if he's quiet, it doesn't matter. You're looking for a change in behavior that correlates with what you're doing with your hand, and that's the key. So we're going to start here and go at a certain speed. But now we get a blink right in here right off the bat. I'm going to search around and find that spot right there. There's search, response, stay, release. And then we got a little release, which was licking and chewing. That's how it works. Now sometimes when you're staying and waiting, it takes a lot longer than that for something to happen. But sometimes it doesn't. So that was a pretty good example. Most horses have stuff going on in the poll. It's just natural. Anything going on with the body reflects in the poll. So you can expect to get more responses up here on a lot of horses. So I'm going to start again, and we're going to that's the spot where we got the response and the release before. I'm going to keep going, and I'm going to look for a definite blink. It's kind of choose the biggest one. There's a little one here, maybe in here. If you're not sure, go back over. If you get something at the same spot, we didn't, we'll keep going. Right there. Now that was a definite blink. I'm going to stay right there, very lightly, doing nothing, just with the flats of my fingertips. Not so much the points, but the flats. And I'm going to stay there. Now while you're waiting, which is the hard part for humans, is the waiting. Search, response, stay. The stay part's the hard part. We tend to want to do something. We want to rub it. We want to push on it. But if you do that, you're giving the horse an opportunity to block it out. So how this works, as I said before, is we're bringing the horse's awareness to a point of tension. There we go. Fidget and release. He wants to stretch, let him stretch. As muscles relax in the spinal cord, the horse wants to move through the range of motion. So they'll do their own stretching. Let's let him figure that out. The responses we have here are the hind end. We had his hind end shifting. We had fidgeting in front. And we had licking and chewing. And we had stretching. So he just gave us 4 or 5 of the responses we're looking for, just by finding that spot and staying on it. We're going to continue on. I could stay here. The question comes up, do you stay longer or do you go on? Well, that's up to you. If you feel like there's still something going on, stay longer on that spot. If you feel like there's more to get out of it, which, you know, in his case, there is more to get out of it. And partially he's that fly, but we can move him on, and he's feeling it. He's fidgeting. Stay with me, buddy. He wants to get out of it. He wants to get out. I'm not going to let him. He's shifting his weight behind. I'm going to just stay here lightly, and then we're going to bring him back around so we can see, and we'll keep going. It's always an experiment. Do you want to stay? Do you want to go on? It's an experiment. Try staying. If nothing happens, move on. This is the experiment. This isn't exactly like an exciting science experiment where things blow up, but we hope. But it's an experiment to see how the horse is going to release what you found, or if. We got a little more out of that. And he's going to fidget. We'll see if he's going to stretch. No, we're just going to stay with it. Now, when you feel things happening, stay with it. Just stay with it a little longer. And then we'll step back and see what he has to say. We step back occasionally to see what the horse has to say. If he has something to say, we'll let him say it. If he doesn't, we'll move on. I'm going to move him over here towards the camera a little more, and we're going to continue on. But that's a pretty good demonstration of the process, how it works. We're going to keep going a little more just for fun. And then we're going to move on to some other techniques. Step over here, bud. Good boy. Okay, Primo. We've got some stuff out of here. Another thing that may happen is when you're done working, when we're done doing this and we step back away from the horse, a lot of times that's when they'll release. They'll start yawning as soon as you take your attention off of them. Because it's like taking the pressure off of them. They want to protect this and guard this and not show anybody oftentimes. It's just their natural instinct. And so when you step away and start and ignore them, often they'll start giving you the big releases. So don't be discouraged by the smaller releases. Right in here, for example, there's a change in his behavior. Stay with me, buddy. I know you don't want to let it go. You can let it go, though. We're all friends here. There we go. Stay with me, champ. There we go. See, he's releasing tension just by bringing his awareness. And that pulling away is he's wanting to release, but he doesn't want me to see it. He doesn't want me to see it. So he's trying to get to hide. There we go. So when the horse starts to fidget, that means that things are loosening up. It's a little uncomfortable for the horse, and he wants to let it out. So you just stay with it. Or in this case, I'm stepping back to see what he has to say. Whoa, Primo, you've been holding stuff in. We need to talk more often, Primo. Stay here with me. Good boy. He's still feeling it. And this tension comes off in layers. It's like layers of an onion. So you'll peel one layer, and you can go back and go over the horse again and peel another layer. And pretty soon, you might peel off the layers that, you might peel off 2 or 3 layers, and that's all there is there. But you might go on and find another spot with deeper layers. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell you where I would stop and wait. His nose is starting to run. When they release tension in the pole, often their sinuses will start to drain. So he's just his nose is starting to run a little bit. But when they have tension in the pole and you starts to release it, the horse releases it, their sinuses will often start to drain. And we're going to keep on going. Oh no, we're just going to tell you where we're going to stop and spend time. We'll continue on down here. Right there. I would wait there. Either fingertips, flats of my fingers, or the palm. Just the whole palm. We're just bringing his awareness to it in a way that he can't brace against it. Now don't push or rub, because if you push or rub, he can brace against it. Stay with me, buddy. Stay with me. I know you don't want us to see it. You can let it out. We're all friends here. The other signs he's showing, he shifts weight from leg to leg occasionally. So I would wait here. I'm just going to keep on going. It seems in this area here that he's giving me a lot of responses. I would continue on here, right here. See, that's a shift in behavior. He's not just blinking, but he's twitching. So I would wait here. Tension in the withers can come from a lot of things. It can come from poor saddle fit. It can come from compensating for a front foot issue. As they shift weight and compensate to the other leg, it'll build tension in here. It can come from hind end issues, where the horse is compensating, trying to stay off the hind or stay away from his back if he has a sore back, and loading the front more. If you start thinking in terms of these biomechanics, they're just basic, simple biomechanics. A lot of times, doing this light touch body work will help you figure out what's going on with your horse's body, how he's using it, in addition to helping him start to release the tension caused by it. So this is how I would continue with this. Now he's not saying a lot in his back. We're going to continue on. As we get closer to the lumbar and the sacro-lumbar junction and the sacroiliac, we might see if he's built up any tension here. His breathing is changing a little bit when I get back here. That was a fly. If you're not sure, go back over it. And if you get a response at the same spot, then it wasn't the fly. Unless you and the fly are working right here. He's starting to fidget. Stay here, bud. He's relaxing behind. You can see he's relaxing behind here. So I would wait here. And I would continue on down. I'm going to turn him a little bit, bud. Step over here. Good boy. Very good. A little bit away. Oh, champ, stand there. And I would continue on down the hind leg. following after I waited here. Whoop. Stay here, champ. And I would continue down the hind leg. There's a little groove here. Follow that and follow it down the hamstrings. He's starting to release over there now that I'm not looking at him. Did you notice that? I stopped looking at him and he decided he could yawn safely. Not all horses are that careful. We would continue down this groove over the hock. Hocks, hamstrings, sacrum go together. When the horse is working hard behind and the hocks start to get sore, these hamstrings will get tight and they'll pull on the sacrum and you'll have sacrum and sacroiliac tension. And it works the other way around. If these muscles are used too hard and the sacrum starts to get tight, it'll affect the hocks. So hocks and sacrum and hamstrings go together. And we would continue on down here. If you get to the hock and the horse is really sensitive here and he picks up his leg and he doesn't want you to do it, you'll back your hand off. Back off about that far until he's comfortable and then continue on. Then we continue on where it's comfortable for him, all the way down to the ting point. That brings up a good point. If the horse is uncomfortable with any of these, a head shy horse for example, and he won't let you touch him or it's too much for him, back off a few inches and wait and search with your hand away from his skin. What's happening is that's so uncomfortable for him, bringing his awareness to that spot, that he's trying to get out of it. So you back off till he's comfortable with it. Then he'll tell you if he's comfortable with it. One thing he'll stop doing if he's head shy is stop being head shy when you back off to a certain area. Then that's the distance you want to stay at to bring his awareness to that, so he'll start to release it. So that's a good point that comes up. Now Primo isn't, but you can actually, on some horses, you may have to do the bladder meridian that far from his body, because that's where they can handle the awareness of the discomfort. So this is a good demonstration of how we do the bladder meridian using more specific light touch techniques. Now we're going to move on to light movement techniques.